What's up, people? Nature Girl 30 here, and this is another mini Q&A. My apologies for seeming a little bit sluggish. Well, not really sluggish, but if I seem like I'm lacking in energy, or I guess being lethargic, I don't know what the word is. But if it seems that way, I'm a little burnt out, so my apologies for that. It is Wrestling Wednesday. You got NXT, you got TNA, you got ROH, and you got Lucha Underground all on the same day, but I can only see one of them, so that's like leaves me with three. So yeah, you can get wrestling burnt out, and that's pretty much what I got, wrestling burnout at this point. But anyway, this is a Q&A. It's not about me, it's about y'all. So let's get started with the first set of questions coming from Largest85. What did Taker form the Ministry of Darkness before the Attitude Era? Let's say 94, 95. Would it have been good? It's not that the fact that it would have been good or bad. It just wouldn't have the same impact as it would being in the Attitude Era. So it's not, but I mean, like everything has its place. You know, like the 80s had Hogan. The Golden Era had Hulk Hogan, and during that time when he slammed Andre the Giant, epic. And then you move on down the line, and then you get to the WWF era. And then you move from WWF era on down to the Attitude Era to the Ruthless Aggression. There was always some kind of, I guess I could probably say, I don't even know if this is the Attitude Era. I think it was the Attitude Era was making the transition when Bret Hart was still there. Just before that transition, the Montreal screw job, I could be wrong. And whoever wants to comment or feud that, by all means, leave it in the comments. I'm just leaving that out there. But every era had its place. And if The Undertaker came out way too early, it wouldn't have as much impact as it would for the Attitude Era. It being revealed in the Attitude Era. And I guess that was a long way around of saying it. But yeah, there you go. That's my answer. Moving on from there to my YouTube questions. And like I said, if you guys want to send me something via Twitter, I will actually explain how you can do that at the end of this Q&A. But let's get started with the first set of questions coming from Nintendo Fanboy 1988 about Bruce Jenner. Oh boy. Why didn't he become a woman 20 or 30 years ago? Why now in 2015? I don't know. I really don't know. It's his decision. It's probably something he's been fighting with for a long time. For crying out loud, he's been married for 22 years. How would you feel to tell your wife when you're still married to her that, oh, honey, I have been thinking for a long time, but I'm thinking about becoming a woman? Seriously. The one thing I can definitely say is that he waited until he was divorced. So that was a good thing. Imagine somebody wanting to do that when they're married. That is a difficult thing to put your family through. Well, not really so much put your family through, but that's a huge transition for anyone. Not to mention that, you know, your family, how your family's going to react to it and how your peers are going to react to it. That's a lot going in your head. And that's not an easy decision to make. That's going to take some time to think about. I mean, you're changing your gender you were born with to another gender. That is something that is not quick to act on. I mean, seriously, I can kind of understand why he waited that long. I really can. I don't know why he's doing it, but I'm not going to shun him for that reason. But besides all that, I will say that is a decision that is going to last a long time in your brain until you know that this is something that you really want to do. It's not something that you're going to instantly just get up and do. I mean, Hollywood, they could, but I don't know. But it's a huge decision. Plus, he was married at the time, going through all that. So I can kind of understand why he's waiting. But moving on from there, and this is a good question. Really good question. And I thank you for this great question. If your dad was in the process of becoming a woman, would you support him? And what would your initial reaction be? My initial reaction would be straight up shock. I'm not going to lie. It would be shock. I would be weirded out. There'll be so many things going through my head. But that's my dad. You know, if my dad wanted to become a woman, then that would be his decision. And I'm not going to lie. It would be difficult for me to support him on this decision because he's my dad. You know, he's somebody that I known as my dad my entire life. I wouldn't hate him, at all for making the decision. I wouldn't think he's a horrible person. I wouldn't think that at all. But it will be very difficult for me to support him right away because he's my dad. This is somebody I've known my whole life. And I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm going to instantly support my dad. No, I will be lying to you. I'm going to be honest with you. It would not be easy for me to do that. It wouldn't. And it would take a lot of thought. A lot of thought on my end, in my brain. It really would. But I wouldn't hate my dad at all. And it would be his decision. It would weird me out. But I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be so quick to be like, I'm going to support him. It's going to take me some time to think about that too. That's just me personally. But that is a really, really, really great question. And as for the same for Big D, that ain't gonna happen. Big D loves women, but he ain't want to become one. But great set of questions, man. Moving on to Nintendo. No, I've just talked to you, Nintendo. My bad. Moving on to Peyton Nilton. Why are some of your videos? Why in some of your videos your afro is short and in others it looks longer? There are days that I actually do switch up my hair. Since my hair is natural, it is kinky curly. It can stretch out. I can shrink it. I can tease it up. I can do a lot with my hair. And there are days that I actually do set my hair to stretch the curls out. And when the curls are stretched out is when my hair is bigger. When the curls actually shrink in is when my hair is smaller. This is actually my hair post twist, taking my twist out. And this is the whole length of my hair. If I want to stretch it out, all I have to do is just wash it, braid it up, and then let it dry out, and then just take it apart. And when that happens, it actually does elongate. So, you know, that's just how it is. Sometimes I have it long, sometimes I don't, because it takes a long time to set my hair like that. So sometimes I just get lazy and just do this. Sometimes I twist it, sometimes I don't. I'm just getting tongue-tied in my words. But yeah, that pretty much explains all that. Thoughts on criminal Suge Knight. Suge Knight is a scary dude. That is somebody that you really want to stay away from. Anybody that puts Vanilla Ice over a railing, threatening to kill him, is somebody you really need to stay away from. Allegedly. Thoughts on Ring of Honor going to Destination America next Wednesday at 8. Like I said, it's Wrestling freaking Wednesday. Every single wrestling show, for some reason, is on Wednesday. I don't understand why. And the fact that ROH is going to be on Destination America kind of gives TNA a bit of competition, because TNA is floundering. They need help, and they need help bad. And it seems to me that TNA is not going to last that long. And it shows how ROH is definitely picking up the fact it's actually on television prime time. Hey, there you go. I'm not really a huge fan of ROH. I tried to watch it, but it just seemed too hokey to me, and I guess it kind of seems a bit weird coming from a wrestling fan. And there are some hokey stuff in wrestling, I'm not going to lie. But regardless of all that, I will say this. It's great that ROH is on television. It shows that they're actually improving their product, and it's going to give TNA something to fight for. So we'll see. We'll see. But they're saying that TNA is going to no longer be on Destination America in probably in a few months. So maybe they got a wrestling show to replace it. I don't know. We'll check it out. But I will say that it is definitely Wrestling Wednesday from having 4 wrestling shows all on one day. Wow. But let's move on from there. Will it kill Impact? Yeah. I'm sorry, straight up. But it's not really so much that ROH is going to kill Impact. Impact is killing Impact. It is. I'm sorry. TNA is killing itself. They got really bad marketing. They don't really take care of all their wrestlers. And they have a real... I mean, their storylines are okay at best. But on the real, they need a lot of work. And not to mention that Destination America is a show that... I mean, it's a channel that not a lot of people get. And they could have waited to be on WGN, which is in a lot of places. But instead, they kind of just jumped the gun and just got on Destination America out of straight up fear. And I think what will really be best is if Dixie kind of stepped down. But either or, is Impact killing Impact, not ROH killing Impact. But great question. What if a wrestler who passed away returned in the 2016 Royal Rumble? Most likely Eddie. And he said, and And okay, and he said after he won, um, you thought I was dead. Well, I lied. Okay, well, I lied. I said, how would you react? We all know he's gone. um, if that happened and out of the blue he came back and said, "Oh, you thought I was dead? I'm alive." I said, that's a horrible. I can't do accents. I'm sorry for. I'm very sorry about that horrible accent. But I will say this: we all know he's gone. We all know he's gone. We all know that he is not coming back. And but in that case, I will be shocked. The entire world will be shocked, and Vicky Guerrero will be shocked. And that'll be harder on her because she's the one who was in the autopsy room. Her and Chavo. So that has to be her, Chavo, and Vince. So they have to be extremely shocked to find out that he was alive all this time. And what he was doing throughout this entire time is a bigger question. But great set of questions, man. Moving on to Dustin Nunn. Have you ever played Street Fighter? And who is your favorite Street Fighter character? Mine is Ken Masters. I have played Street Fighter on up to Street Fighter 4. Is Street Fighter 4 Super or is it Street Fighter 4 Turbo? I can't remember. So many Street Fighter names. But I have played. At one time, my favorite character was Cammy. But it switched up so many times. I gotta say it's gonna always be Chun-Li because Chun-Li is the easiest person to use and she's the easiest person to actually start a finishing move. Like everybody's finishing move is hard. I'm not gonna lie. Playing a Street Fighter game, you literally have to be playing for years to figure out how to actually play it. It's a very competitive fighting game. And your hands will cramp up. For those who are trying to do something new, your hands will cramp up playing Street Fighter. But it is a fun game to play. But doing all the power moves, you literally have to practice to figure out how to do them. Chun-Li is the easiest chick to go to, especially for someone who is a novice like I am. But I will say that it went from Chun-Li to Cammy and Cammy to Rose. I actually do like Rose. Rose is becoming a little easier to use. I'm starting to figure out her finishing moves. But, you know, but technically, yeah, I would have to say Rose. By far. Great set of questions, man. The next set of questions comes from Shoro Roro Hayoyor. What are your thoughts on your boy Kevin Owens beating Cena clean? Woo! I marked out. And I'm not a person to mark out, but I marked out when I saw that. That shows how much respect John Cena has for Kevin Owens. Seriously, a part of me really feels like that Kevin Owens is going to be the dude to take the torch from Cena one day. Whether or not Cena is going to retire soon, I don't know. But in my humble opinion, I really do feel that he has a lot of respect for Kevin Owens and that if he does pass the torch, it's going to be to him. Seriously, I was so hyped up. I'm just hoping that for the Money in the Bank match in 2 weeks, it's not going to be a back and forth because that's going to show, okay, yeah, you beat me once, but I got to get it back. I'm hoping that's not the case. I am hoping it's going to be like Brock Lesnar, the fact that he almost came close to beating him, but not quite. I'm hoping that's going to be the case. He needs to beat him clean again. And I know people are like, oh, it's going to humiliate Cena. The thing is that Cena is getting up there in years. He's getting pretty old now, especially wrestling terms. Cena is in maybe his late 30s. So he's getting up there in years. It's time to pass the torch. And I'm hoping that this will be the case. I'm hoping his pride won't get in the way and he's going to actually take a step back and allow Kevin Owens to beat him. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I'm trying to be hopeful here and not try to be too negative. Will Cena win in the rematch? I think I just answered that. I really don't think. I don't know. I'm hoping he won't. I'm hoping that Kevin Owens will beat him twice, and I'm hoping this is more of a passing of the torch kind of thing. But like I said, Cena may have to get his pride back, pick up his face, and beat him again. I don't know. I'm hoping that he won't. Will TNA be around at the end of 2015? I'm doubting it. It doesn't look that good. It really doesn't look that good for them. I hope for the best, but it don't look that good. They really need to improve their product. Do you hate kids as much as I do? No. I don't hate kids at all. And I don't think that Selena Gomez is a crackhead. I just think that she's small. I haven't seen any pictures of her lately, but if she is skinny, there could be a reason for it. I'm just gonna say that. Moving on from there, Lino Gino. Will you order Destination America for Ring of Honor, which will debut next Wednesday, June 3rd? Well, today is June 3rd, so it is debuting right now, and I am not watching it because I don't have Destination America. I actually have Dish Network that don't really carry it. So, no, I can't order it, and I'm not going to order it on pay-per-view either. No, 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 no. No, thank you. Why do you come off rude and arrogant to the person that told you to get an Xbox One? If I came off rude, my bad. I didn't really mean to. I guess maybe, I don't know. I mean, I can't even remember that Q&A, but if I did come off rude for anybody that asked me that question, my bad. But I guess I was just being a little silly about it. It's like, seriously. For those that keep telling me that I have out-of-date retro stuff, and that's true, I consider myself a retro chick. I am from the 80s. Well, I am a child of the 80s. So, you know, either or. I will say this, I do consider myself retro. But for me not having the latest thing, if I did come off a bit condescending, my bad. I was just being a little bit funny. But maybe I was being a little bit too caustic. I don't know. I do come off that way. So if I insulted anybody, my bad. You know, my bad about that. I didn't mean to. When did you become such a Cena fan? By judging from your last Q&A video. I will say this. I'm not a fan of John Cena's character. I don't know the guy, but I'm not a fan of John Cena's character. But I am stating facts for facts. John Cena has not had a decent, legit win since SummerSlam. He's just now bringing the U.S. belt back after his feud with Rusev. And he's doing a great job with doing these open challenges because it shows how much his belt means to him. Especially if it being his first belt during his debut. But I will say this. I'm not a fan of Cena because Cena just comes off as extremely arrogant to me. He does. And he just comes off as the polar opposite of what his mantra states. Hustle, loyalty, and respect. I don't think he's loyal to anybody. I don't think he respects anybody. But he does hustle. Well, actually, I don't even think he hustles anymore. I don't think he even has to hustle. So yeah, I think he's a walking contradiction. But I don't have any hatred towards the guy. And if a guy actually does do good, I'll give credit where credit is due. I'm not going to say, oh, he's a horrible guy just for the sake of the fact that he's Cena. Like some people are out there who just hate on Cena just for hating on Cena. For me, I don't hate on anybody just to hate on anybody. If it's facts in my face that shows that you're a jerk, you're a jerk. But if you try to come up and try to do something better about yourself, then if I notice that, I'm going to say it. That's just me. I'm not a fan of Cena, but I'll give credit where credit's due. And I guess that answers your question there. Thoughts on Will Smith's son dressing like he's well, I'm not going to really say he's a queer, but I really don't know. I haven't even seen the pictures of him. All I know is that Will Smith's children really do need to sit down. Seriously, they do. They really do need to sit down. There are times that you just stop talking and just sit down. And I think that's what they need to do, is sit down. You got enough attention as it is from your parents. You don't need no more. I'm just going to say that. But moving on to Little Fish. Have you seen Bruce as a woman in Vanity Fair's cover? He looks like he is now Caitlyn Jenner. Wait, that's Bruce? Bruce is Caitlyn Jenner? Really? That was really him? You're kidding. Oh my gosh. I just heard of somebody having a nervous breakdown after a photo shoot, and they looked old. They looked like they were 50, and I was like, oh, that must be Bruce's sister. I did not know that was him. Dang, okay. Wow. Hopefully, oh, wow. Okay, thoughts on Caitlyn Jenner as she's a good-looking transgender woman. I really did not know that. I'm still kind of floored. I may have to go back and look that up. Oh my gosh. Wow. You really did floor me. If he's wrong, by all means, leave it in the comments and correct me. Because if that, I was like, who is this Caitlyn Jenner person? If that was really Bruce, oh my goodness. Wow. That's all I have to say about that. I'm like, who is this? Who is this older lady? I'm like, I guess it's Bruce's sister. I had no idea. If I'm wrong, leave in the comments. And maybe I'm freaking out for nothing. But I'm like, wow. I'm just freaking floored. Oh my goodness. Moving on to my last set of questions from Jack the Talking Dildo. What are your thoughts on people who are obnoxious about their race? Like, shove it down people's faces and how awesome their race is. Especially, mainly black people that comes to mind. Okay. Nobody is putting a gun to your head and making you listen to how great black people are. Or how any race is. You can always shut off your brain. Like, unless they got like a straight up shotgun to the back of your head. And they're like, you're gonna listen to me talk about how great my race is or I'm gonna kill you. Then that's a different story. You can always shut off your brain, shut off the TV or whatever you hear, ignore them and keep it moving. But unless somebody puts a gun to your head, nobody's really force feeding anything down your throat. That's just me. That's how I feel personally. Have you heard that Jay-Z and Beyonce got heat for black social media because it took a picture white, a bunch of white people, and there wasn't one black person in sight. I really don't know anything about that, and whatever they do, whatever. I guess, what, they took a picture white-faced? I guess I'm not really sure what your question is or what happened, but okay, you tell me who's more racist. Now tell me who's more racist, racist blacks or whites after this. I'm gonna be honest with you. Everybody, I mean, there's not anybody more racist and more racist than whatever race. I'm gonna be honest. You can't say black people is more racist. You can't say white people is more racist. But I will say this. People are racist. There are some racist people out there. Racist, ignorant people. Racism is ignorance. That's all it is. You can't measure it out with black or white or Asian or brown or whatever. Color don't matter because they see you as your color. That's all it is. So if Beyonce does it or Jay-Z does it, don't mean it's right. And if other people do it, don't mean it's right either. So you can't really measure it because of black people or white people. It's wrong regardless. Period. So whether it's a celebrity or whether it's a rando, it don't matter. It really don't matter at all. Racism is not a good thing at all. And it can't be measured due to color. And your last question for me is, why do some black people get mad when one of their own decides to make peace with a white person? It's like they're fighting against what the mighty sweet prince, sure, whatever, Martin Luther King preached about. And what about Rodney King preached about? I don't know whether or not you're being condescending or if that's how you personally feel, but I'm not getting into that. I will say this. There are some people who are touchy. There are some people who aren't. But they have a right to feel the way they feel. And don't get me wrong. I still think that racism is wrong. But if people get touchy about someone making up with a white person, that is how they feel. But honestly, if somebody wants to be friends with a white person or date a white person, go ahead. Don't care. Speaking for me personally, being a black woman, I don't care. But on the real, for those that get mad, they get mad. You go and do you. I mean, whatever you do in life is not going to affect this person. If they get pissed at you because you decide to go do something different and actually befriend somebody, that's your choice. It will always be your choice at the end of the day. If they get pissed at you and don't want to be your friend, let them keep moving. Let them keep walking because they weren't your friend in the first place. Seriously. But anyway, guys, that is me for this Q&A. Those are my questions, and I thank you so much for sending them to me. If you guys have any questions that you want to send to me via Twitter, by all means, send them to me at RKH30 at hashtag NatureGirlQ&A. This is NatureGirl30 signing off. I just blacked out for a second. Peace out, y'all. Bye.